Attention is a mental muscle. It's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you lift weights, every time you do a repetition, you strengthen the muscle that you're working. Attention can be strengthened in the same way. In fact, I think I'll show you how, if you're interested. It just take 2 minutes. All you have to do is sit straight up. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to control your breath. Just watch your breath. Observe it. Try to sense it coming in and out, maybe your nostrils. And watch every breath. The full in-breath, the full out-breath. Start over again with the next breath. And just start again with the next. Be aware of the sensation. And if you find that your mind is somewhere else, bring it back again and gently restart. Now you can open your eyes. Did anybody notice their mind wandering? Did anybody bring it back? That's the rep. Actually, the exercise is not keeping your mind focused. The exercise is when it wanders, bringing it back. That's what strengthens the connectivity in the attentional circuitry. This is a study that was done at Emory University. And this is a basic muscle of mind. What's interesting to me is that we don't exercise it, typically. We depend on externals to grab our attention. In fact, our economy, in a sense, is built on the grabbing of attention. Habituation is what the brain does when it sees the same old thing day after day after day, walking the same way to work or whatever it is. You don't see it after a while. The brain economizes on attention. Orienting, on the other hand, is opening up. It's whenever the brain encounters something new, novel, and surprising, it excites the brain. And think about it. Every season, there's a new fashion. Well, what is a new fashion? It's actually a minor variation on a basic product. Every year, there's a new car. Well, what's a new car? It's just enough difference to excite the orienting response. So it's the basis of our economy. It's a very radical move to cultivate the ability to manage your own mind so that you can orient at will. But that's exactly what's possible with attention training, and I've become a big advocate of it. One reason is the research. Richard Davidson, who's a neuroscientist at the University of Wisconsin, has expertise in the brain and emotion. And he's found in his research that when we're agitated, when we're upset and angry and anxious, there's a lot of activity in the right prefrontal area, just behind the forehead. Also in the amygdala, the brain's trigger point for the fight, flight, freeze response. When we're, on the other hand, in a really positive state, I feel great, enthusiastic, what a wonderful day, there's a lot of activity on the left side and no activity on the right. Each of us has a ratio at rest of right to left activity that predicts our mood range day to day. He finds there's a bell curve for this, like for IQ. Most of us are in the middle. We have bad days, we have good days. If you're very far to the right, you may be clinically depressed or clinically anxious. If you're very far to the left, you're very resilient. You bounce right back from setbacks. So Davidson paired up with a fellow named John Kabat-Zinn, who has made mindfulness, as he calls it, very popular, for example, in the medical sector as a way to manage chronic conditions. And also, in the States, at least in business recently, a lot of businesses are bringing it in. And it's more or less what we just did. Davidson and Kabat-Zinn went to a biotech startup, a 24/7, high-pressure environment, And they taught people how to do mindfulness, which is more or less the exercise of watching the breath. But they did it 30 minutes a day for 8 weeks. What he found was that before that, people's brains were tilted to the right. They're pretty hassled and stressed. After 8 weeks, 30 minutes a day, they were tilting back toward the left. And what's very interesting is people spontaneously started saying, hey, you know, I'm starting to enjoy my work again. I remember what I love about this job. In other words, the positive mood was really making a difference. There's one reason that businesses are bringing it in.